close. Ugh. disgusting.
Yeah, it's just at 2 in the morning. Not that there's anybody here. I just didn't think to grab the mic. How the hell did I get over there? What's this auto walking? But yeah, I have a mic, clearly. I just didn't have it plugged in. I'm from California. Up in Bay Area right now doing cancer treatment. I'm sorry, crap. That's pretty dope. You're far away. I know, I had a friend who actually married an Estonian and she moved out there. Like, I knew her way back in high school, a long time ago. How's it out there? Are you guys doing better with the COVID than America? We were losing. Yeah, it's been really crazy out here. I mean, Halloween is canceled out here, which is pretty crazy to think about. Like, you can't go trick-or-treating, no candy, nothing. Well, I know we're doing horribly because we're acting stupid. Like, Florida acts like it doesn't even exist. It's pretty crazy. I mean, that's how I got cancer in the first place, was from COVID. But they're not sharing all that data right now. For obvious reasons. They don't have enough data. Scientists are. They have to have enough factual data to be able to even say that. But I lived it, so I can say from my own personal experience. Well, it's good to know you're doing okay over there. It's kind of messed up. I mean, especially because it's going to mess up a lot of, like, family holidays. Let's see here. Okay, what else was I gonna do? You have to stay so focused on this game, because if you don't, all of your stats will drop. It'll just turn into a crap show real quick. Oh, it's really loud? Okay. I'll have to do that. Can I do that right here? Yeah. Let's see. Volume, put that like... What's UI volume? I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. Okay, cool. How's that now? Don't think about that too much when you're playing it on this side. You just forget. Cool. Thanks for that. I'll have to remember that with my other streams. Especially with the VR streams. I got the Walking Dead. I think it's the Sinners and Saints on VR. I can't even. I try to play it. This shit's just too scary. I just get like freaked out halfway through with zombies and stuff, and I start getting anxiety, so I have to turn it off. Oh yeah, I accept friend requests. They should be open. I want the zombie, like, Sinners and Saints seems like such a cool concept, because it's basically like this, except in VR. But the zombie thing gets me, because I don't know. I might try to go on, like, and play a little bit after this. I don't even know why I bought that game. I mean, I guess because I like The Walking Dead. But it's just too freaking creepy. hope they do like a GTA in VR. That would be awesome. Have you ever played LA Noire? That game's pretty cool. Like a detective game. But they turned it into a VR game as well, which is really cool because you can actually drive with your motion controllers. That added you. Let's get some of this because I'm gonna need this. Yeah, in a minute I'm gonna play something else. You can only play this game for so long before it becomes monotonous, at least to me. Oh, I need to water those potatoes before they die. I need to make a flask. Oh, my potatoes. So evidently in this game the potatoes are what help create fuel. So I can make like a boat or something. Or a flying device that would need gas. So this is gonna eventually be like the main island, I guess, once I get a labeler. There we go. Oh, damn it. That's not what I was trying to do. Alright, how do I pour this on here with the... Oh, it doesn't need any water. Haha! Okay. It did just rain, I forgot about that. I guess we'll just save that for later. I'm out of wood? No way. Okay, I didn't think so. This game is pretty cool. There's another version like this. I forget what they called it. Somebody told me about it, but it's like a horror game. I'm not really into horror games, to be honest with you. I love horror movies, but I don't like horror games. I don't know why. They make me jumpy. So there's one like this. I think it's called The Forest or something like that. Where you're surviving, but there's, I guess, like zombies and shit to attack you. I don't really like it. So it's not my type of game, but some other people dig it. I like that this is mellow. So there are bosses in this game that you have to like defeat, which I haven't gotten to any of them. They're on the islands that have the skulls, which is a bummer that you can't really see the map unless you go to the main menu. Which I'm not going to do right this moment. It's called the Cartographer, and on there you'll have skulls on the little squares. Another thing about this game is that the map is not a perfect square. It sits at like a weird axis. So even though it's a perfect square in the Cartographer, it's like each corner is north and south instead of up and down, which is a really helpful tip I found out much later in the game. Yeah, I don't like horror games at all. I love horror movies. Like I think they're pretty good. There's all different types of genre horror movies. I like the ones that are either based on reality, that have a really good story. Slasher flicks for the like just for the sake of gore. I don't really like those. Those are kind of boring. But really good stories, I like that kind of stuff. Like I watched a horror movie last night. I fell asleep on it, but well, not last night. Today, I went and worked out today, and I got so tired I fell asleep in the middle of the day. But it was just basically about this guy and his dad who were morticians, and they got a body brought in that totally was like haunted or something. And it was just one of those type of movies. So it was good and creepy. It wasn't just like a murder movie for no reason. I don't like those. Those are kind of like, what is the point of this? So for Halloween, I made a whole list of like horror movies, like really good ones, that I put on my Snapchat for people to choose to watch. I can guarantee, like, anybody who likes a little bit of scary movies, I can point them in the direction of really good movies. Not just like typical scary movies for nothing. Like there's this really good movie called Clown. It's technically a scary movie, but it's a really good movie. It's not your typical like horror movie about a clown. It's about the origin of where clowns come from, like the history of clowns. And this dad has to be a clown for his daughter's birthday party because the clown canceled. So he finds this really old clown suit, and he thought it was just an antique. And he puts it on, and then for some reason he's just not able to take it off for like several days. And then all of a sudden it's just like getting stuck on him, and he's trying to figure out why can't I get out of this clown costume? So he finds the original owner of the costume, and comes to find out that it's not necessarily a costume, it's actually the skin of the original clown, which I think it's like Norwegian folklore or Scandinavian folklore, where the clown is actually called the Cloyne, and it lives up in the mountains, and it evidently like eats kids, and that's where the origin of the clown came from, which I thought was like a really cool story because it's based in some of our like reality and folklore. And so anyways, this guy starts turning into the Cloyne, like the original clown, and the costume turns into his skin, and he's supposed to eat so many kids in order to be able to go back to normal. It's a really good movie. It's got like a good story to it. It's not just a silly old horror movie for the sake of horror. So like, when I say I'm a horror buff, I mean like I like really good horror movies, not just slashers. That's definitely one of my favorite movies. There's also a Scandinavian Santa Claus movie like that. I forget what it is, but I make horror movies for Christmas too. Like I'll make a horror movie list. So I'm actually a filmmaker. I make documentaries more so than movies. I like documentaries more than anything as far as creation goes. But when it comes to watching movies, I like cerebral movies like Donnie Darko and Running with Scissors, being John Malkovich, like trippy stuff, time travel stuff, and all kind of weird stuff. Alright, let's put that out. Drop these. Alright. I think I've almost had enough of this game for now. I can play for about like an hour or so. It's really just hunter-gatherer type stuff. I think I'm gonna check on GTA. What time is it over in Estonia right now? Pick up these sticks. It is 4:26 a.m. here. I'm gonna try to take a nap again before it gets too late. I fell asleep at and woke up at 2 a.m. Okay, I got all that. I even have a boat motor, which is great. I put that on my boat though. Or it's a motor. I don't know if it's for a boat or if it's for the gyrocopter, because you can create a gyrocopter and fly in this game. Oh. So you're in the middle of the day over there. What's up, Addison? How's it going? That's pretty cool. It's like afternoon, like 1 o'clock. Cool. Let's get this fire going. Set that there. That's not what I wanted. Where's my kindling? Where's the kindling? Am I out of kindling? I know I'm not. The worst thing to do in this game is to make like tons of kindling for nothing, because I think one should do it. Well, let's not waste it if I don't need to, because I'm just gonna go to sleep right now in this game. Here we go. Yeah, it's 4 in the morning over here. I woke up like 2 hours ago, so I might just take a nap and get up and work out, so we shall see. So what's in here? Okay, cool. Let's put these buoys. Just try to clean up a little bit. Make it a little easier to see what's going on. I can use those little things to make a fishing rod later. So if you get this game, my best advice is to make one of these, the water still, as soon as you can. It'll show you how to like pin things to your screen so you can look at this and gather all the things you need. But I highly suggest making that water still and a fire. That's what will allow you to survive for so long. I used to only make it like 3 or 4 days before I died of dehydration and hunger. But Marcos, this guy's a subscriber, let me know the little details, which made all the difference. So now I can survive for quite some time. You just got to make sure you focus on your fire pit and your water still, and obviously shelter so you can sleep and save. After that, you'll be pretty much set to try to find like a boar, or you can hunt shark further out, and you'll be able to tan hide for like leather and so forth. So then you can make like a, what's it called, like a sleeping bag. I haven't done that yet. For some reason I could never find an island with a boar, and when I did find the island with the boar, there was a glitch in the game. Addison, you're playing Stranded Deep right now. How far have you gotten? Like, I think this is one of the islands I created, because I tried to make sure I had like a bunch of extra stuff on it, and it looks like it is the island that I created. But still, there's no damn boar. I can't seem to find any boar. I keep trying to go off like to these other islands, and I sort of want to go find another one, but I don't, because if I do, like that one over there, I wonder if there's boar. Or is that the island I just came from? No, it's not, because I came from southeast. The reason I don't want to go do that is because, well, as Addison would know since she's playing, day 12. Yeah, if I go to another island, you know the first thing I'll have to do is create shelter and water. And that takes a little bit of time depending on what's on the island, unless I take things over there. And I don't have a labeler. Have you come across a labeler yet? The furthest that I've made it in this game is to day 42. And then, I lost this thing. The oar? Or the paddle, as some would call it. And so I couldn't get off my island, really. So I started over. Because there's no way to actually create, like, a paddle, which is kind of silly. Yeah, the labeler really helps, because what I'll do is I'll actually label my housing. That way I can try to track all the islands. So I'll label it like island 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Or I'll exit and go to the cartographer and see what island I'm actually on, and then I'll just label it that way. Because it gets a little confusing, especially by boat. Yeah, to lose your paddle totally sucks. It happens when you drag this thing around. Sometimes, you see, there you go. That's what happens. You drag this boat, and then it gets stuck in the air, and if you don't recognize it, you just lose the whole thing. So I'm just gonna hang on to that for now, actually. Yeah, I think I've been playing this game for about an hour already. And I kind of want to go over to GTA, because it's so late that I might be able to do my missions without, like, anybody trying to steal my cargo. But GTA is a time-consuming game, so I'm not totally sure if I want to do that either. I was thinking about maybe playing some VR. was telling Ekvarium that I have what is it? Walking Dead Saints and Sinners or Sinners and Saints on VR, and it's a lot like this. It's a survival game, but it's just too freaking creepy. So I hardly ever play it because I can only play it for like 10 minutes and then I start getting all weirded out. Then I don't want to play anymore. I start getting anxiety. Like, no. But LA Noire is pretty cool. VR, the VR files. I played LA Noire. Starting young. Way back when it was on Xbox 360. And I liked it. That was a cool game. And so I got it in the PSVR. And it's pretty cool. You get to drive the squad car with your motion sensors. Like the motion cap sticks. It's really pretty dope. I like it a lot. So if you do have a VR headset, I suggest LA Noire VR files. If you like horror games, go right for it with the Walking Dead. Like honestly, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners or Sinners and Saints, I'm not sure how if which one comes first, however it's named, is scary. And it's fun, but I can only play it for so long. But Until Dawn, which is supposed to be scarier, I think. Watch out for those things if you get that. If you get this game, Aquarium. These things will ruin your whole day. You have PSVR, Addison? Oh my gosh. So have you played The Walking Dead? I can't play it. I want to play it so bad, and I play it for 10 minutes and I start freaking out. But the VR files is cool. Until Dawn is actually... It's pretty cool. Even though it's a scary game, it's almost just like a roller coaster, and you just shoot at things. So I can deal with that. Oh, what's up, Ivarium? I didn't know you even dipped out for a little bit. Welcome back. Do you like the scary games at all, Addison? You should, Ivarium. It's pretty dope. Just remember that, I don't know if you heard me or accidentally pulled my mic out. Uh, make sure you take care to create a fire pit and a water stove. That is what makes or breaks this game. And I learned that the hard way by dying a bunch of times until a subscriber Marcos told me otherwise. It depends. Yeah, I can't really get into horror games. I love horror movies. Um, Good horror movies. I was just telling Ivarium about this movie called Clown, which is really good. It's a horror movie, but it's actually about the origin of the clown, and so it's pretty cool. It's not just like scary for the sake of trying to be scary. It's got like a really good plot to it. I got this game on sale for $19. I don't know what that is in Estonia. I don't know what your guys' money is out there, actually. I try to buy all my games on sale. Because I have so many as it is, to be honest with you, like, I haven't, like, there's some games that I've played till I beat them, but for the most part, I just buy a bunch of different games and then play them whenever I feel like playing them and kind of make my way through it slowly but surely.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I think it was like 19.99, something like that. That's a good price though. That's a good deal for this game, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure it'll have like another sale and it'll probably drop to 14 or something at some point, but for what this game is, it's totally worth the price. $19.97. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, you should totally make a sleeping bag, especially if you have the leather for it, because you can take it places. I haven't made a sleeping bag because I haven't been able to get any meat. Like when I did get the wild boar, the game glitched on me. Like I threw the spear and it went right into the boar, and then the boar just disappeared. And then when I got it another time, it catapulted it into the ocean, and I'm like, what's going on here? So that makes sense. Canada, that's actually not very much for Canada. Canada usually is a little bit more than down here in the US. At least by like $3. So for you to get it for 20 bucks, we all got it for 20 bucks. That's pretty good. What part of Canada are you from? Oh, what did I just make? Damn it. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to make a spear. Like the little trident looking spear. Let's go ahead and drop that there. Cook some meat. New Burnswick. $10. Wait a minute. Did you get a sale? I could see it going. Oh, 10%. That's not bad. I could see it halving it though. Like, PlayStation has some really good sales every once in a while. I did the basic farming plot where I had to get some yucca and turn it into rope. This is potatoes. So from what I understand, the potatoes are necessary for fuel if you make like a motorboat or a gyrocopter. And I got lucky and I got vehicle engine part. So it could be for the boat or the gyrocopter. So let me see where I'm at. I'm only at level 4 of craftsmanship. I guess I should go do this to try to boost my craftsmanship level. I hadn't done it because I didn't want to make this the main island, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. I'm gonna build like a little bit of a fort. Do I even have enough wood for that? Come on, let's see. Yeah. Wood foundation. Let's just do it. I don't like building these here on PS4 because if you run out of stuff on your island, you're kind of just halfway built up. You don't have a GameStop in Estonia? That's cool though. You can still buy stuff online, like GameStop.com. Yeah, I'm level 4 too, Addison. Because I don't really go to GameStop that much, honestly. Like, most of the games that I do get, I get them online digital. Which I don't advise, because if anything goes crazy, like, all of a sudden we're under nuclear attack or something, and we lose our power grid, we lose all of our online games. Unless they're already downloaded to your system, so I highly advise getting like a external hard drive if you have digital games and saving them on there, or definitely having a hard copy, because if for whatever reason shit hits the fan and we're stuck inside with games, we want to make sure that we have our games. Yeah, I only go to GameStop when there's like a game that I really like, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to have this as a hard copy. Like the LA Noir VR files, I don't know if they have a hard copy of that, but I definitely want to get a hard copy of it. Are you guys gonna get the PS5 when it drops, or are you gonna wait for a little while? I'm thinking about waiting for all the glitches to be worked out, because you know there's gonna be glitches within the first like 6 months to a year. So I'm gonna probably wait for like PS5 Gen 2. Oh wow, I wasn't paying attention anyway. See how like if you just stop paying attention? That's when I know it's time for me to stop playing the game. Is when I stop paying attention to my vitals. See how much my water dropped? Because I just start walking around like messing around, not doing what I need to be doing. One thing about this game I can say I really like is that it forces your focus. Like, you have to freaking focus. If you don't focus, your player will die very quickly.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Alright, I think I'm set for the night here. I'm going to come back on and stream a different game if you guys want to pop in, but I think I'm going to stop this game because clearly I'm about to kill my player from not paying attention. Alright. I don't know what I'm going to play. I might play Watch Dogs. I don't know if you guys ever played that. That's a pretty cool game. They're coming out with a new one. Legion or something. I think it's based in like England or France. That's going to be really cool. I feel that's a long time to wait, Addison, so I'm with you on that. Like, I keep freaking out, like, what if my PS4 breaks while I'm up here? Like I was telling Akvarium, I'm out of town, away from home right now, doing cancer treatment up in the Bay Area, like at Stanford. And, my fear is, like, what if my PlayStation breaks while I'm up here? Because besides my Amazon Fire Stick, which is really cool, the Fire Stick has a bunch of games on it. It even has GTA, so you can actually buy a controller and legit play games on your Amazon Fire Stick. I mean, like, really cool games, not just some, like, basic games. They even have a Stranger Things game on there, which is really cool. Downside is that I can't stream from my Fire Stick, but it's pretty cool, nonetheless. Yeah, I got breast cancer from COVID, yo. Isn't that crazy? So I try to tell people be really, really, really safe with that shit. Like, they're not telling people about everything with COVID yet, um, for obvious reasons. I mean, you saw how crazy everybody got in the very beginning, beating up people for toilet paper in stores and water. Like, that was stupid. But, like, in March, like, I'm also a DJ. In March, I'm gonna go ahead and exit to the main menu while I'm chatting with you guys. Um, let's get out of here. Let me go save this. In March, I was DJing at a pinball arcade. I was a resident DJ there, and this guy came in. He was a regular, but he was sick, and he was like, "Yeah, I was feeling really sick last week," and I was like, "Dude, I bet that was scary." And he was like, "Yeah, I thought I had COVID," and he said that he had looked up his symptoms and he figured it was food poisoning, and I was like, "Well, we don't even know the symptoms of COVID right now. This is way like in the beginning of March." So I was like, "Dude, you could have had it and you don't know." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And by then, like, I had already like given him a fist bump and all kinds of other stuff, and I washed my hands, but I continued DJing. But it's a pinball arcade. Like, everybody's touching all the gaming machines, you know? And so the next day, I felt weird, like I was coming down with the flu. And I was like, oh shit, I might be getting the flu. Because I've never had the flu before. Like, I think the last time, or the first time I had the flu was the last time I had the flu. And I was like 34 years old. I'm 36 now. And so that was like 2 years ago. So I remembered the symptoms. And I was like, oh, it feels like I'm coming down with the flu. And then like 2 days later, it was just gone, like nothing. And I was like, oh shit, that's kind of like how they were describing COVID, like really like symptoms of the flu, and then they're gone. And then like a week after that, I felt like so bad, like I couldn't get out of bed. My body felt like it was swelling up. My kidneys hurt. My back hurt. I gained 30 pounds. Like, I went from 160 to 190. And I was like, what? Like, I don't weigh that much. So I bought like this digital scale to start tracking my weight. And then the following week, like, it was one week I felt kind of sick on the weekend after the DJing. And then the next week, I started feeling like really bad. And then the following week, everything went to hell. Like, I was puking. My whole body felt like there was razor blades going through them. And I could feel like this really sharp, like electrical, like, it felt like razors, or electrical shocks going through the front of my body, through my breast, all the way through my stomach, and specifically like on the side of my right breast. And then the following week after that, I was like, why do I feel like a lump in my boob? And I called my doctor, and she was like, well, maybe you're on your cycle. Sometimes that can happen on your cycle. I was like, no, this isn't right. And then, like, 4 days later, I felt a lymph node underneath my arm. And I was like, I have cancer. Like, those are all the signs of breast cancer. So I called the doctor again, and I was like, dude, I need to see a doctor, like a oncologist, and get a mammogram because I totally have breast cancer. And after I told her the symptoms, she was like, oh, okay, yeah. So she expedited everything. And I ended up getting a mammogram by the end of, like, closer to the end of April. Because it was by the end of March that I was like, no, something's wrong. Because it was March 8th that I did, the March 6th that I did the DJing thing. And then March 8th, I started feeling bad. And then the following week of March, I got really bad. And then after that, I got really, really bad. And that's when I was started talking to the doctor at the end of March, beginning of April. And then, like, a week and a half or 2 weeks into April is when I noticed the lump in my breast. And then the, like, third week, the second or third week, I'd say, is when I noticed the lump in my lymph node. And then that's when they got my appointment for me to see the doctor for the mammogram by the beginning of May. And by May 6th, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. All because I got COVID in March? What the fuck, right? So bad. And so the unfortunate thing was that the area that I was living is kind of like it was just not a really good area for like medicine. It's a smaller community called Monterey, California. Um, you might have heard of it. Like they talk about it. Like there's been a few movies that were shot there, like Big Little Liars, that series, and then Nurse Ratched, that new series on Netflix, was shot there. Um, and they talk about it a little bit in there. Um, Cancer can kill you, like COVID can kill you, but luckily I stayed up on everything. And so here's the thing that tripped me out about the cancer that I got. When you get breast cancer, there's stages to it. There's stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's the same with any cancers. But with breast cancer, stage 1, you won't always know you have it. You're really lucky if you can catch it at stage 1. For the most part, people can catch it at stage 2 because that's when you have a lump in your breast. Stage 3 is when it actually gets into like the lymph nodes. Um, and stage 4 is when it spreads across the body. And stage 4 is very dangerous. That's usually where you're pretty much dead. Some people can survive it, but when it spreads across the body, it's really hard to contain, especially if it gets in your organs. I was diagnosed with a stage 3, and I was so like freaked out the whole time until I found out, because I was like, oh my god, like depending on where this is in my body, I might be a dead person pretty soon. This is not good. And because it was in my lymph node, that's what made it so scary, because once it's in your lymphatic system, it can spread to the rest of your body. And that's when it's like, uh-oh, there's not much they can do about that. You're pretty much on your way out. And so for me to like not have any breast cancer, and then all of a sudden within a span of like a few weeks to a month, I was stage 3. Like, how do you skip stage 1 and 2 so quickly? And so when I was sick, I went to the hospital and they just ignored me. They didn't even want to do a COVID test, which was like so messed up when I had all the symptoms of COVID. So that, I don't know, that was kind of scary and kind of stupid of the hospital to treat me like that. And then they just kicked me out. Didn't even help me. And so I knew at that point that I definitely had COVID. I had all the symptoms of it. And I had to just kind of take care of myself. And then once I found out I had cancer, I made sure to get to the best hospital that I could, which is a hospital based out of a college. It's a research college called Stanford. I'm sure you've heard of Stanford University. It's one of the better colleges in the country of the U.S. at least. But they have a really great medical facility. So I had my endocrinologist give me a referral up to Stanford because my endocrinologist actually works at Stanford. And that's how I got up here to get to these doctors to do my cancer treatment. So yeah, I got COVID in March and it got really bad till about April, and then it got worse. And then I ended up with cancer halfway through April, then got diagnosed in May, then started cancer treatment in July after I got all of my labs and stuff done. Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's a double-edged sword. It kind of sucks, but there's also like a silver lining in this. Um, I've been able to educate people on like the danger of viruses, because all they do is talk about COVID this, COVID that, but they don't really educate us on how viruses work. And if you're lucky enough to get the education just through school, then great. But if you don't, a lot of people don't understand that it's not just COVID. Viruses, period, will mutate to protect themselves. I actually have a game on here that teaches you about viruses. I should totally play that right now. It'll show you how viruses mutate, and the whole point of this game it's supposed to, you create a virus and you're supposed to make the virus so bad that it can actually take out the world. It's a pretty shitty game. It's a really good game, but because it's educational. And the one thing about viruses is that they will mutate to protect themselves from hot weather, cold weather, antibiotics. They're intelligent. So each time a virus finds a host, it learns about the host and how the host defends itself. So whether it's COVID or anything else, depending on the strength of the virus and its ability to adapt, once it gets inside of a host, it learns how that human host operates. Not just the individual, but just how the human itself and how the body will defend itself. So then the virus will become strong and it'll develop its own defense mechanisms against our defense mechanisms. So that's why viruses, period, point blank, from like Ebola, HIV, all of them will find a way to start to protect themselves. But depending on how strong the virus is, it can make it a little bit more difficult for us to find vaccines or remedies for them. And because COVID's been so rampant, no matter what virus happens, COVID, HIV, Ebola, the flu, we're always behind it a little bit. Like, we're trying to catch up, because the way to actually beat a virus is to track or map the genomes of the virus. And in order to do that, you have to kind of monitor it. How does it work? So you're basically like chasing it, no matter what. So we're chasing it to understand like how it operates, so that we can create a vaccine or even a cure if you can for it. But most of the time with viruses, you have to create something that vaccinates people so that people become immune to the virus. Now, if you have a virus that is intelligent like this and keeps adapting itself very quickly, it's hard to create a vaccine for that, because by the time you get the first vaccine, it's already mutated itself into a stronger version, and it might have developed some type of defense mechanism to the medications themselves. That's why they tell us not to take so many antibiotics, because when we do that, we actually strengthen viruses, and then they can beat the antibiotics or the vaccinations. So with COVID, not that there's been other COVIDs, but this is the novel coronavirus. This is the newer version of coronavirus, because there are other coronaviruses, but they're not as strong as this one. And we've mapped out some antibiotics for those ones. There are two types of this one, or they said this in the beginning. They said there's COVID S type and there's COVID L type. One affects the stomach and the other affects the lungs. I don't know why they've stopped talking about this. I think a lot of it is because they're trying to catch up with like Donald Trump's dumbass. He is just, I don't know what's wrong with that man. I don't know, he just wasn't loved enough by his parents or something. Because all of his rhetoric has detracted from them being able to actually educate us on certain things, because they're trying to catch up with him, like saying all the crazy stuff he says. I mean, in the very beginning, he said it was a hoax, and then all of a sudden, like way down the line, when there's like 200,000 Americans dead, he's saying, "Oh, I caught it," but he's not showing any proof that he actually caught it. He goes into the hospital for like a couple of days, and then comes out and he's like, "Oh, I'm fine." BS. Nobody believes that. There's no way that 200,000 Americans, healthy and people that had pre-existing conditions, have died. But he, with all kind of medical issues, heart issues and stuff, gets it, goes into the hospital, comes out a couple days later, and everything's fine. And he never proves to anybody that he actually had it. He never proves to anybody that he's actually over it. Like, I honestly think he lied, and I think most of the Americans think that he lied. And because he lies so much, nobody actually believes him. And for me to not have had anything wrong with me, no pre-existing conditions, nothing, and I get COVID and all of a sudden it mutates my cells into having a breast cancer, and then he gets it and nothing, like, that's BS. Like, nobody believes him. So, yeah, viruses are, they're no joke. They are no joke. they're very intelligent types of things. Actually, I totally think I'm gonna play that game right now, just so it's up on my stream, because I think it's super educational. I'm gonna go find it real quick. I think it's called Contagion or something like that. It's an interesting game though. So you basically can start with a bacteria or a virus. Bacterias are pretty bad too, but they don't mutate as quickly as viruses. Viruses, whew, they can mutate in a matter of days or a matter of hours, and their mutations can be either defense mechanisms for the virus or they can be symptoms, meaning that initially, let's say it caused a sniffle, and then the next week now it's vomiting, and then the next week now it's like bed sores. Like viruses can mutate that fast with symptomology and defense mechanisms. And I don't know, American school system is really stupid. Like Americans really are not the brightest tools in the shed, and I'm saying that as an American. So don't take my intelligence as a as a sign of intelligence of America, because Americans are kind of stupid. Um, and I don't blame the Americans themselves. I blame the system and the politicians, because they're the ones who decide to take certain types of education out of school. And that pretty much just starts to dumb down the nation. And the fact that we have people who don't understand the basic etymology of viruses, and we're supposed to all have biology by freshman year, and the general public does not understand viruses, that is embarrassing and pretty sad if you ask me, especially for a country who claims to be the most powerful in the world. You may be the most powerful, but we're also pretty stupid. Oh, it's called Plague Inc. Evolve. That's what the game is called. I found it. It was in my games. I didn't have it downloaded to my system, but it was in here. It's a pretty cool game though. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play that real quick. And then I might go to bed for a little bit. It's 5 a.m. here. What part of Canada did you say you're in? The west coast or like the east coast of Canada? Or the middle part? I have a friend who's from Canada, but she's like, where'd she say she was? In a really small town outside of. God, where did she say? I forget. Alberta. Yeah, in a small town just outside of Alberta, Canada is where my friend is from. So yeah, it's 5 in the morning here. I just woke up at 2 a.m. I figured I'd play some video games, watch a horror movie, and then go back to sleep. And then maybe wake up at 7 or 8. Because I have to go back to do some more treatment tomorrow. But I'll beat it. I'm sure I'm going to be fine. Everything's going pretty good so far. And I have like 12 more cycles or so of chemotherapy. Or I think less than that now. And then I go into surgery and then radiation. And everything should be good. Here's to hoping. See, I gotta wait for that game to download because I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi, which is not bad. It's not too slow. But I probably just have a bunch of games downloaded I might need to delete. Yeah, I do. Until Dawn is really good. That's like a horror movie type game. And then the Until Dawn PSVR, that one I can play. Because it's just like being like in a roller coaster ride, like a Halloween haunt roller coaster ride, which is pretty cool. Oh, and Rick and Morty. I don't know if you can play that. I don't know how old you are. But Rick and Morty's a really good one for VR. It's kind of adult themed, but it's not super adult themed. Like I think it's right down the middle where it's okay. It doesn't have a whole bunch of like bad stuff in it. Oh, and then Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin. That's a really fun PSVR game. That's super cool. It's basically about like these psychic little warriors. It's super cool. You should totally play that one. I highly recommend that one. That's like 10 thumbs up. Prison Architect. I forgot about that one. Yeah, like I'm running out of space on my PlayStation with all these games I have in here. I'm gonna delete Prison Architect. That one's fun though. That's totally worth a play. Alright, let's go see if we can download Plague Inc. There it is. Wait. NBA LMNOP. Manual Samuel's a super cool game. It's weird. It's about this dude who like gets hit by a car and he ends up going to hell and he gets a chance to live again, but the only way he gets a chance to live again is if he like uh, I don't know, like he has to do everything for himself. So basically you have to like control the guy's breathing, his walking, his everything. It's a really unique game. I've never played a game like it before. It's pretty cool. There we go. Do I need to sign back into my Wi-Fi? There it goes. Okay, cool. It's downloading. So Plague Inc. is downloading. That usually downloads pretty quick. Alright, awesome. Manual Samuel. I'm gonna download that too because I haven't played that in a long time. I think it's a super cool game. It's a cool Halloween game. Where did it go? LMNOP. There you go. Guardians of the Galaxy is a really fun game. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure sort of. It's a lot like the Walking Dead Telltale series. It's cool. Very cool. Alright, let's go see which games are finished downloading. Alright, I downloaded a bunch of other ones. Manuel Samuel, Plague Inc. Alright, cool. Those are probably going to take a second. Well, I'm going to play something else in the meantime. Maybe The Sims? I don't know. We shall see. Or maybe some VR. Can't say. But you will know when I get back on here. So I'm actually going to open another game that's totally going to turn off my broadcast. But I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to you, Addison, so I can check out some of your games. And here we go. Wait, how do I do that to get out of here? Not sure. I'll just pin one of your guys' messages or something and then find you. Because if I type Addison in here, you know who comes up. Addison Ray. Dude, you should be able just to go like straight to your thing from tapping your name. That'd make it easy. Well, I'll just go back to the stream once it closes and then follow you and subscribe. Cool. Alright. So I'm going to pop off of here. Thanks for the support. Thanks for popping in here. And I will see you guys on the next game.